We all have it, old or unused pieces of furniture cluttering up a forgotten corner of our garage, maybe even our house. Well, what if you could breathe new life into this discarded pieces and actually turn them into works of art? That's exactly what our next guest does. Artist Maureen McCarthy, or Mo as she likes to be called, joins us this morning with some examples of her work and a few tips on how we can do it ourselves, or at least you say we can.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, you can. Good morning.
I'm fascinated with what you brought in, what you're able to do with really kind of, I mean, we're starting with beer bottles out of a book here. I love this, but give us a little bit of your background, Mo, because I kind of love your story. And
well, I'm an artist, and I'm obsessed with furniture, but I can't paint on furniture because I'm too much of a perfectionist. So I try to find different ways to jazz up furniture without having to actually paint on it.
Okay, so that's it, because a lot of people do like painting old furniture, but you said there's other things you can do with it.
Yes, and since recycling furniture is so popular, and a lot of people don't like distressed furniture, so instead of just painting it, I like to add some, something more colorful, and I love texture, so color and texture is what I like on furniture.
All right, and beer, are you a beer fan?
I'm more of a wine fan, but I love all the colors
as well, right?
Yes.
All right, so you brought some examples. So here is an unfinished one. This is where it begins. If you have a piece of furniture that may look like this, you say you can bring life back to it.
Yes.
So where do you start?
You start by, you want to sand it down a little bit so that you get a smooth finish. You can sand out any imperfections, and it preps it for the primer and paint.
Okay.
So first I sanded it, then I primed it and painted it, and you can find out how to do that on the label.
Okay, all right.
But the one technique that I like to do that a lot of people are familiar with, they call this decoupage, which people probably are familiar with. And what I did is take the same color as the table, cut it out to size, but you can go over a little bit with your images. And I took a book, which it's more of a picture book, lots of colors, cut out individual bottles of the beer, because that's the theme.
And we know that there's books, we may have unused furniture, and then we know we have a lot of old books laying around too.
Right, I told you could do this at home.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are familiar with Mod Podge, but they're afraid to use it anywhere else but for crafts. But crafts are for adults too. And you can make it, you'll see how durable it can be by applying it to furniture.
Okay. All right, so then you lay this down to wherever you need it.
Well, first you glue all the images on, which can be a challenge.
What kind of glue do you use?
I use the Mod Podge.
The Mod Podge, that's what you glue on.
And you put it on the bottom, and then you coat the top. And once it dries,
with
like
Mod Podge again?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you like one coat one way, one coat the other way, and then you get a more solid surface, so then you can trim whatever needs to be trimmed.
Okay.
And then you just, you can use any kind of brush, and just take the Mod Podge and do it in thin coats, because it dries really fast and you don't want a lot of air bubbles.
Do you need to keep this furniture inside? I mean, does it work best, or is it okay to keep outside?
Well, you'd have to really coat it. Like you can, if you want an extra durable finish, you can coat it with polyacrylic, which is like a polyurethane, but it doesn't yellow.
So I'm thinking a table like this would be cool, out on a patio.
Yes, and I'll show you some other finishes that make it even more durable. But if you coat this back and forth several times, you shouldn't put anything wet on it for 30 days.
Okay.
So, but you'll get a nice firm
And would you
finish.
just leave this right here, or would you continue to, I kind of like it just like this.
Yes, I like it like this, but I also like to add in unusual places. So this is a piece of fabric, which you can cut out and just glue
leather,
it.
I like it.
And just glue it with some, some good glue, and smooth it out on there.
Okay.
These are placemats.
Oh, who knew?
Which I could, and it gives it, like this one reminds me of a stereo speaker, but it just gives some texture, and it makes the piece more unique.
Wow, who knew placemats could spice up your furniture?
Yes, so I just like a lot of texture when it comes to something boring, and you go from the 70s to this.
Yes. Well,
you know.
we're out of time. I know you brought a chair over there too that's a great example of what you did to the back of that as well. But is that what kind of the key is? Look for fun textures, fun prints.
Yes,
And
yes,
don't be afraid
to use it, because you could coat it with a resin or epoxy like this table is, and it'll last forever.
All right. Well, Mo, thank you so much for being
you.
here. We have to have you. I know you have a lot of other stuff cooking in there
Yes.
of what you can show us. So I hope you come back soon. Thank you so much,
thank
Mo.
you.
All right. We'll send it over to